I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, the head coach for JobSearchCoachingHQ.com, and welcome to Job Search Radio. Another question for you. Let me try that again. Another question for me. We do this live in one take. So no edits, we just go into the material. And the question is, what should I do if I'm overqualified for the job? Now, I want you to look at things first from the employer's perspective. Because if you operate without that, you're talking to a wall. You're not thinking of them. And this is true for any interview. And unless you start thinking of the person that you're interviewing with and what their needs and concerns are, you're going to be dead in the water. So understand that from their perspective, they are fearful. They are fearful that if they hire you, you're going to be disappointed, that you're going to leave after a short period of time, and they're going to have to hire someone else. They also have the concern that if you're overqualified, you're looking for more money than what they're willing to pay. After all, my 40-some odd years of recruiting experience, it's so common that people who are managers claim they can do the staff position, even though they haven't, written code or done accounting work in 15 years. They're confident that they can do it. And they really can't. And not only that, they're looking for more money than what the staff level person's making. It's like the difference between a $150,000 a year person and a $100,000 a year person. One person manages people who does things, the other one does things. So these are your challenges walking in. Number one is the money thing. Are you really willing to be flexible to that level, or is your intention to kind of get them to go higher than what they're prepared to pay? The likelihood that you're going to be able to convert them is very small. Number two is, from a tactical standpoint, if we're dealing about someone who's overqualified, number one is you can dumb down your experience a little bit. And number two is, don't talk about your best and biggest accomplishments. Often for people who are more senior than the jobs that they're interviewing for, they oversell themselves vis-a-vis what's going to be expected for them in the role. Remember what I said a moment ago about how people need to think about the interviewer and what their needs are. If you helped an organization make or save, I'm just picking a number at random, $100 million, and they've got a project that's maybe $5 million in scope, they start thinking you're bigger than this job. So you can't really talk about the big stuff that you've done. You really need to scale it back. That's why I was talking about dumbing it down a little bit. And it's not that you're going to act stupid, but you're not going to speak to the scale and experience that you've done before. Now, I'm also going to get into discrimination here, because often one of the other issues becomes you are older than your potential peers within the group. And they become fearful that you're going to be a pain in their rear because you're not going to fit in well with others. So your behavior has to be congruent with someone who's at a staff level and not just simply a big person who's willing to condescend to something else. It reminds me of so many times when I did search work where managers would go out on interviews for staff level positions, and they would start overwhelming the interviewer and make it very clear that they were managers or directors who, I'll consider taking something less, but don't you have something more senior that really fits me? No? Okay, I'll consider this. And of course, the interview ends. It all comes down to your manner and how you carry yourself. That's going to demonstrate your fit. Again, fit is important to organizations. If your arrogance shines through, trust me, they will never see it again. So that's today's show. I hope you found it helpful. And if you did, I want to encourage you, visit my website, TheBigGameHunter.us. There's a lot of information there that you can watch, listen to, or read. It's going to help you find work more quickly. Also, connect with me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/IN/TheBigGameHunter. While you're at my site, by the way, I still have a couple of positions available, but I don't really do recruiting. I coach people. Notice the hat. I coach people into new roles. So if you're interested in my coaching you, you can find out more about the services I offer on one of the tabs on the top. So again, my site is TheBigGameHunter.us. Last thing I just want to mention, subscribe to this show. Leave a great review in iTunes. Subscribe to my other show, No BS Job Search Advice Radio. Between the two, you are getting great information that's going to help you find work more quickly. Hope you enjoyed this and hope you have a great day. Take care.